Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. I'm normally recording a video at this time. This is the time of day I normally record my videos, or I'd be partway through recording a video, but I've got a lot to go through. A lot's happened over the last few hours on both, well, mainly the Michael Vaughan case, but I also want to share some stuff about the Summer Wells case as well. So I thought I might as well do it as a live stream. And I know this is a bad time for just about everybody who watches my channel because 70% of my viewers are either in North America or in Canada. And it's going to be the middle of the night for you guys, regardless of what time zone you're in. But it's going to be okay for UK viewers and European viewers generally, unless you're working, and then it won't be. Australian viewers, I'm guessing it's going to be good for, right? Because it'll be Monday evening your time. So it's probably prime time for you guys down under. But anybody who misses this can watch it on the replay, can't they? All right. So, so I do have quite a lot to go through. I've got lots of screens waiting to share. I'm going to start with Summer Wells. That's why the Summer Wells TBI information is scrolling along the bottom. And then when I get to Michael, which is going to take me longer, because I want to respond to an interview that Justin For All did in the middle of the night, my time. But I've finished watching it about an hour ago, and that's when I decided to go live instead of recording a video, because there's some very interesting information in that. So I want to respond to that. So I've got some clips that I've put together as a little video that I was going to play, but I'm going to respond to it instead. So we're going to start with Summer Wells. Let's give people a chance to come in, though. Say a couple of hellos. Hello, Mike, with a top hat. The time is now. The time certainly is now. German Shepherd Mom, Clary. The Stacey Wanderer stuff. Yeah, the Stacey Wanderer stuff is, I don't think it's that confusing. I think he's lying, honestly. But that's my opinion. And everything that I'm going to say is my opinion, all alleged. You know the score. Hello, Karen, DD. Hello, hello. From South Carolina. Lynn. Who else have we got? Wild Man's Mom. 3:40 a.m. Hey, what, y'all still up? Yeah, why? Lambriel, Neela. You're off work because of the storm. Oh, that's good, Clary. That's good. Not that the storm is good. It's very, very windy here, but it's not bad. I wouldn't have said. Nobody's fence has blown down yet, or no one's roof tiles have come off or anything yet. There's time yet, though. Jewel, hello. A1 Way Street, hello. Insanity Mom. True Crime Junkie, Joanne. Canine Dream Dog, that's cool. Imagine peace, yeah, imagine that. All right, so a few people coming in now. Right, going to start with Summer Wells. Lynn, thank you for the $9.99. Thank you so much. In my currency as well. Thank you so much. Another Aussie here. Yeah, imagine there's going to be some Aussies in. All right. Okay, going to start with Summer Wells. And a couple of days ago, I made this video about Bill Shipley. So if you didn't see that video, just let me very, very briefly explain the background. Ziggy, the YouTuber Ziggy, interviewed a few days ago, because it took me a couple of days to get to it because of the Delphi case. There's so many cases that I'm following at the moment where there's developments or new stuff. So it's taken me a bit to go through it all. All right. Yeah, so Ziggy interviewed the ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, who was called Kelly, of someone called Bill Shipley. Bill Shipley is a beach creeker, and he's a bit of a violent guy, bit of a violent temperament, shall we say. Sonia, member for 21 months. And Dee Dee, member for 13 months. Good morning, both of you. Or good evening, depending on where you are. All right, so Ziggy and Kelly have been talking for a couple of months, I think. But Kelly was too scared to go live because Bill is a violent guy. Clary for the $9.99 wee tip, because you never get to catch me live. Oh, thank you. Again in my currency. Getting all the UK people in here. All right. Okay. Every time I get interrupted, I have to go back in my head. So Kelly was too scared to go live until now. Now, Bill Shipley is in jail, but he's got lots of friends and family in the Beach Creek area. He's already threatened Ziggy, but you can threaten me all you like, Bill, or your friends. You can threaten me all you like, because I'm 4,000 miles away. So I consider myself safe. So good luck. Good luck finding me. That's a challenge for you. So Bill Shipley's interesting because of a story that Kelly told. Now, this is just what Kelly's saying. I can't verify what Kelly said. Neither can anyone else. And it was a story that Bill told her when they were together. That one day, Don Wells was threatened at gunpoint by Billy Shipley. Billy had been doing some work for Don, and Don hadn't paid him. Again, all alleged, comes from Kelly, and it's hearsay because she wasn't there either. It was just something that Billy Shipley told her. All right. So Billy and Don saw each other at a stoplight. Billy followed Don home. When they got to 110, Billy pulled out a gun, got hold of Summer, and held Summer's hand while Don went in the house to get the money that he owed Billy, which was about $500. So for those few minutes, he essentially held Summer hostage to get his money. Did Ali really pass away? I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea. I'm not even considering the possibility as of this moment in time, because if she's passed away, there's going to be an obituary and we're going to find out. So all the speculation, I just don't know. Not following that particular issue at this moment in time. If she has, then obviously best wishes to her family and condolences. But until I get an official confirmation, then I'm assuming that she's still alive. So that was the background. Now, I said in this video that I did 2 days ago, this video right here, that I would link Billy into my massive family tree of beach creekers. I've done that, and I want to share that with you today. But first, I want to play you a clip from Crime Crazy Critters on the Farm channel, and Candice was on it. And Candice claims that she doesn't know Bill Shipley, and neither does Don. Okay. All right. So this was a couple. I don't exactly know when this was. A couple of days ago. The link's in the description box to this. Okay. So it's just a minute or so that I want to play. I don't go to this channel. I can't be doing with all the people talking over each other. It does my head in. But I was directed to this channel, and Candice being on the panel saying that she doesn't know Bill Shipley. So let me know that you can hear this okay. I can't hear it, which is weird. It's actually playing now. Can you hear it? I didn't want to play it just yet. Can you hear that? Hold on, I'll shut up talking. Can you hear that? Because I can't. Oh, you can't hear it now. All right, you can't hear it either. Interesting. Interesting. Can you hear it now? Can't hear anything. Okay. All right. Interesting. I am having issues with audio. Right. Okay. Can you hear it now? I still can't hear it either. Can you hear that? No. All right. Okay. What I'm going to have to do is let's have a look what's going on in the audio section. I am having issues with audio at the moment. You should be able to hear it. All right. What I'm going to do is pull my microphone out. Okay, right. I'm going to try again. Can you hear this now? No one is moving. Is the video playing? Not yet. No, the video's not playing now. Right, I'm going to play the video now. Can you hear this? You can hear me, yeah, but can you hear the video? That's bizarre. Right, that's absolutely bizarre. Bizarro. Bizarro. Okay, I'll do it another way. I'll do it the annoying way, where I've got to share my entire screen. I'll do it this way. Because I've got the clip, so I'll do it this way. This should work. Right, let me know if you can hear this.
Your nothing, baby.
He's a bald-faced liar.
Well, I
he was branding me from YouTube. So I'm sorry.
Right, so can you hear that now? You can hear that. You can hear the video now. Okay. So it's just when I'm sharing it as a video clip via StreamYard. I think it must be a StreamYard glitch. I don't think it's my audio. I think it's a stream. I think it's to do with StreamYard. All right, so you can hear the clip now. It doesn't really matter for this one. It's just literally Candice saying she doesn't know Billy Shipley. But for the Michael Vaughan one, then you're going to have to hear it because I've got a lot of information on that one. Right, so this is Crime Crazy Critters on the Farm. This is Candice on the panel saying that she doesn't know Billy Shipley.
Oh, who this guy is, and if y'all even know him.
I don't know the guy. I just know his name, and that's all I know about the guy.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. Sorry.
Donnie doesn't even know the guy, period.
Really? Because he was saying some weird stuff yesterday.
He never worked with Donnie ever. That's a lie.
Okay, that's all I wanted to play. So Candice doesn't know him. All right, cool. Candice doesn't know him. and Don doesn't know him, and Don's never worked with him. Okay. Well, I'm not taking credit for this at all. This is from Ziggy. This, again, was overnight my time. And here are some screenshots from one of the many Facebook profiles that Billy Shipley has. If you have an ad blocker, it messes with StreamYard. I don't have any ad blockers, so it's not that. So it's another story like the 5 million we've already had. I know, it is. But at the end of the day, Summer's still missing. She's been missing for over 2.5 years, and somebody knows something. So if you shake the tree long enough, something will fall out. That's my thinking. Now, this Billy Shipley has got 5 gazillion, and I mean, and he's got like 20 odd Facebook profiles, this guy. So I've been through the first few recent ones, and Don Wells nor Candice Bly or Candice Wells are not friends on there. However, all credit to Ziggy for this one, because she's gone through all the way back to 2019. Now, in 2019, he had a profile, and who was his friend then? Oh, look, bottom right, Don Sherfy Senior. Right, so he's friends with Don Sherfy Senior. But the most important thing is 2021. And you can see from the other screenshots at the top, those are from 2021, June 2021. He had, you can see June 25th, 2021, top left. And that's with his wife, who died under suspicious circumstances. Cause of death was blunt force trauma. And who was she last with? Him. So he's being investigated for her death. But that's by the by. This is the profile. So you can see top right, the profile, the picture that he's got on there is his wife with lots of love hearts. Oh, and by the way, he's also friends with Marlena Crawford. So from this profile from 2021, who's his friend? Oh, look, Donald Wells. Donald Wells. Oh, dear. Now, just because you are friends with someone on Facebook doesn't mean anything, right? Some people just add people willy-nilly to their Facebook, all right? But Donald, at some point, has took it upon himself to add Bill Shipley to his Facebook. Now, that profile picture and that account from Don Wells, because Don Wells has got several Facebook accounts, that's the Facebook that he was using when Summer went missing. As I've been back to check that Facebook profile, because it's still live, but it was all... there was thousands of people commenting on Don's Facebook at that time. And you can tell that this is from Bill Shipley's profile, and you can tell it's the 2021 profile, because there on Billy's photos, you can see the top of this photo on your top right of the love hearts from his wife. It's just cut off on this screenshot. So he does know Bill Shipley. Now, Candice might not. Now, on the later profiles that Bill Shipley has, Don Wells isn't a friend. But at the time Summer went missing, June 2021, Don Wells was friends with Bill Shipley. So it's not true that he doesn't know Bill Shipley. Candice might not know him, But if Don says he doesn't know him, Don is lying. When did his wife pass? Not that long ago. I don't know exactly. I haven't like found a death record for her or anything. But that was Sherry, and she died, and then he got with Kelly. And he was only with Kelly for a short time before they split up. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was very interesting. Shall we see who Bill Shipley is connected to? Who his friends are? Yeah, let's do that. Who his relatives are, should I say. All right, so this is my mega tree. This is in ancestry.com. Well, it's ancestry.co.uk for me, but I have the worldwide membership. So I've been compiling this Beach Creekers family tree for ages. I started with Ben Hill, you know, the guy whose name is the road. Started with Ben Hill, who is Fred Hill's granddaddy and Andy Bernard's great granddaddy. So Andy Bernard and Fred Hill are cousins once removed. So look here, this is Fred Hill. His mother is Evelyn Crawford. Okay, so we go up. Okay, we go up to here. Bird E. Crawford. So what do we see? This is the common ancestor, Bird E. Crawford. So we have Evelyn, Albert, Bird. All right, so that's Evelyn's granddaddy and Fred Hill's great granddaddy. So mother, grandfather, great grandfather. All right, got it. So now we go down this line here. Goldie, who is Albert's sister. Then we go to Dorothy. And then we go to Billy Shipley. So actually quite a close relative of Fred Hill. So let's see how close they are. So siblings, cousins, second cousins. So Billy Shipley is Fred Hill's second cousin. They're also related along another line, because you can see here that Goldie, her maiden name was Crawford. So a Crawford married a Crawford. So if we go over here and find out who Clifford Crawford is related to, he's over here, marrying Goldie. His daddy was Danny Crawford, who was the brother of Bird Crawford. So Goldie Crawford and Clifford Crawford were actually cousins. So Fred Hill and Billy Shipley are double, the second cousins and third cousins at the same time. They're probably related on other lines as well. That's just what I've got to at this moment. So thank you to the person who, I can't remember who it was in my comments, but somebody told me to look up Kermit Shipley, and I did, because, well, just because I did, but he didn't have any information in Find a Grave, but his wife Dorothy did. So, yeah. So he's closely related to Fred Hill. He'll be closely related to Marlena Crawford as well. So I just thought I'd share that. People are interested in this genealogy stuff. So could I define holler? A hollow is it's like a little valley that goes up into a mountain, and people over the years have lived in these little valleys that go up into the mountains. That's all a hollow is. So it's hollow. So he's related to Andy B also. He will be, yeah. Actually, he will be by marriage, because Andy and Fred are related through this line. Because Fred's dad is Ben Hill's. Fred Hill is Ben Hill's grandson, and Andy Bernard is Fred Hill's great-grandson. So Fred and Andy are related through Fred's dad, whereas Fred and Billy Shipley are related through Fred's mother. But like I said, that I've only looked at one line. There might be more relatedness on other lines. What about Andy B? How is he related? All right. So if I click on this, so we've got Fred Hill, Ronald Fred Hill, and Ben Hill. Right. So if we go along here and we go to Anna Hill, okay, so Anna Hill and Fred's dad were sisters, brother and sister, siblings. So Polly is Andy Bernard's mother, and then Andy Bernard is here. So if you zoom out, you've got Ben Hill. So siblings, cousins. So Andy's mother is Fred Hill's cousin. And then that's a generation removed. So Fred Hill and Andy Bernard are first cousins once removed. But like I said, Bill Shipley is related through Fred Hill's mother, not the father. So Andy Bernard is only related to him by marriage, as I found out yet. I don't know whether Andy might be related by blood on other lines, because I haven't got there yet. Yeah, Ben Hill originally was from Virginia. Yeah, apparently this Billy Shipley's a violent character. People don't mess with him. But I'll mess with him. Come over here and do your worst, Bill. So, yeah. All right, so that's all I wanted to share related to the Summer Wells case. So, more people coming out of the woodwork. Did I see Jodie Sue's reaction to the Kelly interview? No, I saw a little bit of what Ziggy shared. But I think I fell asleep during that live, and then I didn't go back to it. So not really. Are they related to Don's mother? No. They're not, because Don's mother was from Utah. He does own Light Cemetery. Well, his family do. I don't know whether he does personally. May I ask why he threatened me? He didn't threaten me. I'm just saying if he wanted to threaten me, he can do. because I live 4,000 miles away. So what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Bring all his pals over here? Go for it. Because you'd be on my turf then. So, just saying. All right. Let's move over to Michael Vaughan. Worth watching 22 minutes. All right, I will. Is it Jodie Sue saying that people are going to die? Because if it is, then I know exactly what she's going to say. What she says every time a new person comes out of the woodwork, or every time somebody interviews Andy. It's people are going to die. People don't understand what monsters these lads are. So I could almost predict what Jodie Sue would say in that 22 minutes. All right, let's move over to Michael Vaughan. So if anybody has information, and we know that people do have information about Michael Vaughan, they're asked to contact Fruitland PD at 208 642 6006. That's Fruitland PD at 208 642 6006. Because we know that people know. All right, so I want to play.
You come back home.
Did you hear that? Because I heard that time.
And
did you hear that?
Brendan.
Did you hear that? Let me know.
Sarah are on the couch.
And who's on the couch?
Brandon and Sarah.
Brandon and Sarah are on the
No,
couch.
you can hear that. That's weird. That's weird. So you couldn't hear this one, but you can hear this one. That's utterly bizarre. It definitely is a Facebook. It's not Facebook. A StreamYard glitch. Well, that's good. It saves me sharing my entire screen because it's annoying. It just means that I can stop and start this and watch the chat at the same time. Why have I got a blank screen? Can you see what's on my screen? What can you see? Because on YouTube, it's just a black screen with me in the corner. There's something weird going on. Black, right. Yeah, that's bizarre. That's bizarro. Can you see that? This is bizarro. So you can see the family tree from the Beach Creekers. Right, so I'm going to add to the stage a video from Justin for All. So it's come up on StreamYard. You just have to wait a second for it to catch up on YouTube. There is gremlins. There's gremlins in the system. There's big gremlins in the system. This is definitely StreamYard. StreamYard's problem. Yeah, it's just black. That's weird. That's weird, 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 weird. I suppose I could just play the audio. So it's from Justin for All. And no. What I'll do is I'll just share my entire screen. So annoying. So can you see that from Facebook? Because that was showing up earlier. So that showed up, that showed up, that showed up. Now nothing's showing up. Oh, that's showing up. Okay, so the slide's showing up. Right, let me see whether Justin's pretty face shows up in a second. That's weird. That's so bizarre. So bizarre. All right, I'm going to just share my entire screen and do it this way so that you can see the video as well as hear it. It just means I've got to watch my comments on YouTube, which is not a big deal. I had it when you heard. It's so bizarre. It's bizarro. All right, I'm not going to faff about with StreamYard any longer. I'm going to just share my screen and play it this way. It's not a big deal. We're going to do it like this. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Right, that should come up in a minute for you. There we go. There we go. Right, we're doing it. So, there's about 20 minutes that I want to comment on. They're not all in one section. It's like one section and then another section added on, but all from the same interview. So this is an excellent interview. And Stacey has now admitted that they set off for Cuna at the exact same time that Michael went missing. So if you've been watching, so people not familiar with what's gone on over the last week or so, let me fill you in before I start playing Justin's interview. Why is Wonder panel hopping? I think it's because he thinks he's being slick. That's just my opinion. Thinks he's being slick. But just keep talking, Stacey, because this is very interesting. Right, over the last week, or maybe a bit more than a week, he's been on Crime, Lines and Lies 3 times. So we did 3 interviews with Brooks. And on the 3rd interview, he flounced. He got mad and he flounced off because Brooks was asking him difficult questions. So I don't know whether he thought that he could just come online and everybody would instantly believe him. But he's also been on Dollyvision. He's also been on True Crime with Eve. And now he's turned up on Justin for All. Now, he might be on other channels as well that I just haven't seen or been made aware of. Who is he? Right. He is a suspect in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan. So there's 4 suspects in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan who were named in the December 2022 press conference that Fruitland PD did. And a news channel, thank you. Yes, he's also been on KTVB or whatever it's called. KTBV or whatever. News Channel 7, I think. All in the last week and a half. So, December 2022, they were named suspects. Stacey Wanderer, who's this guy, his wife, as was, because they're split now, Sarah Wanderer, and they both lived at 1102 Red Wing Street, which is half a mile away from Michael's house. And 2 other people who were staying with the Wanderers at the time Michael disappeared. Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian. Brandon Shirtliff did an interview with JLR in November of 2022. And there were a number of discrepancies between what Brandon said and what Stacey said in these multiple interviews. Okay. Now, I've made several videos over the last few, let me just go to this. So over the last 12 days. So that was a response to the first interview that Brooks did on Crime Lines and Lies. Then a couple of days after that, I did a response to the third interview that Brooks did when Stacey flounced. Then yesterday, I did a video about the timeline because what Stacey was saying about the timeline, his timeline, didn't make sense. How long was he in jail? I don't know. But he was let go. So if you want to fully catch up on his timeline compared with the timeline that we know for Michael, confirmed by law enforcement, then go to that video from yesterday, which hasn't had a great deal of views, but what can I do? What can I do? I can't force people to watch, can I? So I went through the timeline from Michael's case, and then I talked through what Stacey's been saying and what discrepancies there are. So from yesterday's video, I said that Stacey, in my opinion, is lying. Because this whole day that they did on the day that Michael went missing is a lot to take in. And what Stacey does, and what you'll see in this interview with Justin, if you've seen it, this interview with Justin, maybe you've picked up on it. He over-explains the things that are completely irrelevant. And he provides evidence in this interview for things that are completely irrelevant. So, for those not familiar with this latest round of interviews, let's just very quickly go through what Stacey has previously said. Stacey has previously said that he was at home. So this is the morning of the 27th of July, 2021, the day that Michael went missing. They were all at home. Brandon and Adrian were staying. And then Stacey and Sarah. Ow! The cat scratched me. The cat's under the table. She's just scratched me. Why does he come out now? How long was he in jail? I don't know how long he was in jail, but why he's coming out now is because they're fearing an indictment. So he's coming out, supposedly being slick, getting his story out. All right. So they were all at home. And then Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian left mid-morning to go to Nampa. Is it called Nampa? A town that's south of Fruitland. It's about 38 miles away, south of Fruitland, because Adrian wanted to meet up with his child. And there's a photo of Adrian. Let me get that photo. If I can find it. Maybe I've saved it. I have too many things. Previous 7 days. Maybe I didn't save it. No matter, I can get it from my video. Yeah, whatever. Okay. This photo here. This photo. Let's get a bigger shot. This photo is taken at 4:47 p.m. on the 27th of July, 2021. This was in Nampa. Okay, so 4:47 p.m., July 27th, 2021. Right. However, Stacey says something different than this photo. Stacey is saying that Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian were home by 4 p.m. Whilst Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon were in Nampa, Stacey got a call because him and Sarah had a taxi business. So he got a call. So he went to pick up a fare, taxi fare, and take this guy to Boise, which is also south of Fruitland. So he left around 1-ish and got back about 4-ish. Right? And when he got home at 4-ish, Brandon, Sarah, and not Adrian. Adrian stayed in Nampa, but Sarah and Brandon were back at home. But yet, there's a photo of Adrian in Nampa at 4:47. So who took that photo? But no matter. What's important is what happened next. Now, what Stacey has previously claimed is that they set off for Cuna. Are you keeping up? They set off for Cuna. So this was Stacey, Stacey, Brandon, and Sarah set off for Cuna about 5:30. What's in Cuna? Well, Brandon's mother lives in Cuna. Brandon's mother lives in Cuna. And Brandon needed to go to his mother's house. Now, Cuna is about 50 miles away and takes about 49, 50 minutes to get there. Right? So they set off. Stacey said it was 5:30. However, Brandon, in the interview with JLR in 2022, said that they were at the gas station at 7. Now, the gas station is just down the road in Fruitland. So did it take them an hour and a half to get from, let's get the old Mapio up here. Let's get the old Mapio up here. All right. So this is where Stacey and Sarah lived. This is where Michael lives, right here. Okay. Michael lives here. So to leave this neighborhood here, they have to go down here, down Southwest 8th, and then onto the highway. And then they go south to Cuna. So they set off. Up until last night, Stacey was maintaining that they set off about 5:30. They get round the corner and realised that they needed power steering fluid in the truck. Now, they were going to Brandon's mother's to get Brandon's car that had broken spark plugs, and they were going to tow it back. Also, Brandon needed to do his washing. So he took his washing in a duffel bag that wasn't big enough to put a human in. Stacey made a point of saying that the duffel bag wasn't big enough to put a human in, even a small human. It's only a small duffel bag, just enough, to put dirty clothes in. Now, Stacey and Sarah had a washing machine. So why did Brandon have to take a duffel bag's full of washing to his mother's house 50 miles away, put it in the washing machine, and then go back the day after to pick it up? Why would you do that? So it's a 200-mile round trip to do a load of washing, because they've got to go 50 miles there, put the washing in the washing machine, then go home. So that's 100 miles. And then go back the next day to pick up the washing. So that's another 100 miles. So you're going to go 200 miles just to do a load of washing when there's a washing machine in the house that you're staying at. That makes sense, doesn't it? Dulce, member for 22 months. Yeah, so that doesn't make sense, does it? No, that doesn't make sense at all. One little bit. The dog's alerted on Brandon's mum's septic tank. Yeah, dogs often alert on septic tanks because of the sewage, though. So I'm not really taking much stock in that. I've done videos on cadaver dogs alerting to human sewage. I've done more than one video on that. So okay, so that's the backstory. Why didn't you wait to finish the load? Yeah. So you put the washing in. You put the washing in instead of waiting an hour to go and for it to finish. Like my washing machine does a load in 44 minutes, and that's with an extra spin. I can do a 28-minute wash. But when like my clothes has got mud on and stuff, I do the 40-degree wash, not the 30-degree wash. So you could do Yeah, you could do a lot of washing in less than an hour. So instead of waiting for the washing to get done, they drove back and then went back the next day. 200-mile round trip that they didn't need to do because Sarah and Stacey had a washing machine. Okay. Right. Now, let's go to Justin for All. So I'm going to comment on this throughout. I'm going to get annoying because I'm going to stop it. The link to this is in the description box. It was a very interesting interview. Josh from the lab also joined the panel kind of later on. So there's a clip in this that I want to play where Josh is on the panel as well. Okay, so let's go. Let me know you can hear this okay.
So you come back home
Mhm.
and
Brandon and Sarah are on the couch.
So this is him getting back home from his taxi run. So he had to go and pick up the fare from Ontario, not Ontario, Canada, Ontario, Oregon, which is just over the other side of the river, and then take that fare to Boise. So he says he got home about 4. You can hear it. Good. He said he got home about 4. Brandon and Sarah were already home. All right, cool.
and who's on the couch?
Brandon and Sarah.
Brandon and Sarah are on the couch together.
No, not together. They were on different couches, but they were both on their phones when I walked in.
Okay, they're on their phone when you walked in. Okay, now what else?
I was approached by Brandon and Sarah saying that, Sarah talked to me first and was like, hey, Brandon wants to go get his car from CUNA.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, let's just get it over with, because Brandon had been pestering us a lot about getting his car. Like, it wasn't just one time he asked, it had been probably a couple weeks worth of asking.
They've been harping on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what time was this approximately?
Timestamps, again, I'm referring back to the timestamps because I literally just found them yesterday. I got back into my email account and my
So the timestamps that he's referring to, he shows later, but they don't give any indication of where they were when Michael went missing. Just a heads up. So he's coming with timestamps. He's coming with receipts now. All right, cool. Because he's been able to get into his emails that he hasn't been able to get into before. But now he knows exactly what time they set off. So he's previously, on multiple interviews, said around 5:30. He's now changing it.
my pictures from that year, last night, literally, thanks to Eve, who is also viewing, I believe. She helped me recover that. So I was able to get into that, and that's how I got those photos that you'll pull up eventually with the timestamp attached.
Okay.
So I'd say, it's going to sound stupid, but going back to the timestamps, I would say 6:30 or 7 is when we left.
So 6:30 to 7 is now saying. So previously, he said they left about 5:30. So he's now saying between 6:30 and 7, which coincides with what Brandon said. So we're now consistent with what Brandon said, because Brandon said that they were at the gas station just at 7. Okay. So he's now consistent with Brandon, but now leaving his house half a mile away from where Michael Vaughan lived at the exact time that Michael was abducted. So between 6:30 and 7, they left their house here. They'll have driven down here, or they might have gone that way and then round there, who knows. But they come out on Southwest 8th Street. Okay. Michael lives here on Southwest 9th Street. And confirmed by law enforcement, they know Michael was abducted between 6:40 and 7. So now these guys are passing this street, just one street north of Michael's. This is Michael Street, at the exact same time that Michael was abducted. Aussie TV member for 14 months. Watching from this point and replay crew. Boom. We also know that Michael was seen heading east on Southwest 9th Street by several neighbours. A dog, search dog, tracker dog, also tracked Michael's scent up Southwest 9th Street up to the point of Washington Street, which is this street here that intersects with Southwest 9th and leads on to Southwest 8th. Sandra, member for 20 months. Good to get some fresh info on these two cases. I know. So Michael was headed for the splash pad, probably, because he liked going there. Splash pad's here. So Michael would either have gone this way, and neighbours did see him going this way, and then up here, and then along here, and then to the splash pad. And he was abducted between 6:40 and 7. The exact time these guys were coming along here. Now, well, coming along here. They could have actually gone up there, around there, and that way. They could have gone that way. All right, so they're coming along here, right, at the same time. Now confirmed, because Stacey has been able to get into his emails and work that all out from timestamps. Cool. All right. Cool. Let's carry on.
You left.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So you leave at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And you guys are making a trip from Fruitland
Correct.
to
Cuna.
Cuna. How do you spell Cuna?
K-U-N-A.
K-U-N-A. Okay. That sounds like Hawaiian almost.
It kind of does, huh?
Yeah.
I got Hawaiian.
You do?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see here. So Fruitland, Idaho to Cuna, K-U-N-A.
45-minute drive usually. Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, 48 minutes. 48 minutes it says from,
I know my miles. I know
yeah.
my destinations.
Taxi driver.
Mhm.
So did you guys take 84?
Yes.
Okay.
84 to exit. I want to say 46 or 48. It was 10-mile road. It might have been 42. I know it was 10-mile exit that we took.
10 exit. You mean like exit number 10? Oh, 10,
No,
10 mile road?
10-mile road, correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's an exit for 10-mile road, correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not that the exit that they took is relevant, but this is what Stacey does, right? He really elaborates on these very small details. Okay.
Because you can do I-84 East
Mm-hmm.
and then South 10 Mile Road,
Correct.
or it says you can do I-84 East, Idaho 69
Yep.
is the second. But the fastest is I-84 East.
The 10-mile, correct.
Yes. Just looking here. You're going to turn onto Whitley Drive,
Mhm.
3.3 miles, and then turn left 0.2 miles to
I-84
I-84 East
East,
toward
yep.
Boise, Caldwell,
Correct.
merge on I-84 East, and then exit 42, which I don't know where exactly in Cuna you were. Now, why was this
I
car
can
in
give you
Cuna?
his address if you want to pinpoint that from our house to his, so you can
Sure.
see. His address was 2518.
One second. 2518. Go ahead.
Snowbell, S-N-O-W-B-E-L-L, I believe,
Got it.
road.
Is it north? It's probably north Snowbell.
Mhm. There's a Snowbell.
Okay, and your old address, I got it here.
1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland.
Was it 2508 or
Okay,
2518?
49 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
All right, so you're going to do, here, I'll show you here, just so we can.
It is what liars do. It is what liars do.
Be clear. So you're going to go 1102 Red Wing Street, and then, we're just South Meadows Avenue, turn immediately onto 8th Street. So
Yep.
then you're going to turn right onto US 95 South.
95 South, yep. Turn left on I-84 East. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
You're gonna merge, yep.
Yep. 38 miles on I-84, and you're going to exit 42,
Correct.
turn right onto South 10 mile road.
Okay, so we know where they're going. Okay, so we're going to just skip a little bit here.
Okay. Now you go to the house, and what happens?
Brandon brought a duffel bag full of his clothes. I can verify that it was literally full of clothes because it was empty when he brought it on the couch from the side of the couch. And I watched him put all of his dirty clothes inside the duffel bag.
Okay, cool. So this is Brandon's duffel bag that he had at the side of the couch. So again, this is very specific details. Now, he had said in a previous interview with Brooks, or maybe it was Dolly, I can't remember, that the duffel bag wasn't big enough to put a human in. Now, no one asked him how big the duffel bag was and was it big enough to put a human in. He offered that information himself, which I thought was interesting, right? Because, you know, if I talked about, oh, I have a backpack, my next, and I say, oh, I put stuff in my backpack, my next sentence isn't, the backpack isn't big enough to put a duffel bag in. No, a human in. My God. My brain is mush today. So my backpack, because I don't have a duffel bag, so I've got a backpack though. So my backpack isn't big enough to put a human in. However, it's big enough to put a bunch of washing in. Now, I don't need to put my washing in a bag and take it 100-mile round trip and then go back the next day to another 100-mile round trip because I've got a washing machine downstairs. But so had Brandon. He had access to a washing machine. So anyway, he decided to put his washing right in the duffel bag that was down the side of the couch that isn't big enough to put a human in and take it to his mother's house. Okay, cool. So he said a medium-sized duffel bag. Yeah, but he said not big enough to put a human in. Okay. He says my bag won't fit a body. Dear me. Dear me.
So there was a duffel bag
A black one, correct?
at your house.
Yes, that was his.
Uh-huh. How big is the duffel bag?
It's small. It's a medium to small duffel bag. It's not big at all. It's not like a huge one. It's got the handles that Velcro together, and it's got a strap that goes over your shoulder.
Okay. All right. And he takes this duffel bag with him on the trip.
Mhm.
Okay.
Brings the duffel bag to the house.
He rides with you
yeah.
and Sarah there.
Right.
Do you remember-
Sarah was driving. I was in the passenger seat. He was in the seat behind me.
Okay. Do you remember the conversation on the way on there?
I play a lot of music. I mainly DJ. I don't do a whole lot of conversing because I like to listen to music. I'm a huge music nerd, so
Okay.
there wasn't a lot of conversation.
Sarah wasn't bitching about something.
Huh.
She's bloated. She's gassy. Anything? Nothing. I mean, nothing. Okay. All right. So you're on your way, and how long are you? What do you do at the house once you arrive there? You hook up the car, and what else? What else is going on?
So they're in Cuna now. Have you noticed he's missed a massively important detail that he's talked about in previous interviews? He's admitted to tell Justin that they stopped. So if we go back to Fruitland here, what Stacey has been telling everybody who'll have him on their panel is that they stopped here at the corner of Southwest 8th and Arizona, which is this one, because they needed to put fluid in, power steering fluid in the truck. But while they were stopped there and Stacey was putting power steering fluid in, they saw a child playing on Southwest 8th. So initially he said it was a small child. Then he changed it to not a child of Michael's size and age, but a child maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. And definitely not Michael, because this child had dark brown hair. But they did happen to see a child. So now we've got that they passed here at the exact time that Michael was abducted, not an hour before, and there just so happened to be a child there. Okay, but he's admitted that detail. Now, when Josh joins the panel a little bit later, Josh brings that up. But I'm just pointing out that in this particular story, he's now put himself there at the exact time that Michael disappeared, but he's omitted to tell Justin about the child.
House.
That's it. Brandon had to go through the side gate entrance on the right side of his house because his mom has surveillance, like a Ring doorbell that has audio video set up that'll pick up detection of movement or whatever. So we parked just enough.
So why did Brandon have to go around the side to avoid the Ring doorbell? I'm not really clear on why Brandon had to sneak into his mother's house. Now, I don't know whether there's prior history between them, that Stacey did say something about Brandon's not allowed in his mother's house without her being there. I don't know why. So Brandon didn't just go to his mother's house to put washing in. He sneaked in there. He sneaked in to put the washing in the washing machine, but then went back the day after. So his mother wouldn't have realised that Brandon's washing was in the washing machine. I don't understand this story. It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. But anyway, he snuck in to put the washing in. It's crazy. To leave it, to then go back the day after. Come on now. So his mother would know he was there. Anyhow, that's the story he's saying.
In front of his car so I could push his car out of the driveway and get the tow strap out of the truck to go connect to his car. And while in the process of me doing that, he was in the house washing his clothes.
Okay, what's wrong with his car?
He blew the spark plugs out of the cylinders.
He broke the spark plug. Okay.
Yeah. He drove a Mercedes, and I don't know if anybody knows much about Mercedes, but they're pieces of shit.
Okay.
I'll never drive one.
Okay. And so why didn't he just get new spark plugs?
Because you can't. They had to be rethreaded. The holes had to be rethreaded. He literally blew the spark plug out of the hole.
Oh.
The threads. He blew the threads. Correct.
Okay. Okay. And how long are y'all at this house?
30 minutes tops.
Well, you can't wash and dry your clothes for 30 minutes.
He didn't dry his clothes. He washed them and left them in the washer, and then they went back the next day.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. So he throws them in the washer.
So they were there 30 minutes. Why didn't he just wait a little longer for his clothes to be ready? I know this guy thinks he's really smart. Thinks he's really smart.
Okay. And you're driving this car back? Or
He's steering the car. Sarah was towing it. I was in the passenger seat. Sarah wanted to learn how to tow a car.
So she's the one.
Correct.
Okay. Now, how did you go back?
We went back to 10 Mile, I believe, which turns into, if you pull up the maps real quick, you can see where I went. But if you type in Idaho 16 from Kuna, Idaho, from his house to Idaho 16, we literally, I believe, took 10 Mile, or it was Eagle Road, one of the two, but we took 10 Mile all the way.
So now we get this long, winding story about their journey back. And I'm going to let it play just to prove to you how much irrelevant detail Stacey gives about things that do not matter. Because what we're interested in is Michael. We're not interested in Stacey's route back. But he's prepared to give all these irrelevant details, yet he's admitted to tell Justin that they saw a child on Southwest 8th, because now he's put himself on Southwest 8th at the exact time that Michael disappeared, confirmed by law enforcement between 6:40 and 7 p.m.
On to Idaho 16. Idaho 16 then drops into Highway 52. Highway 52 drops into Payette, Idaho. And then you take a left off of, when you enter Payette, off of Idaho or Highway 52, and that takes you straight to Fruitland.
Okay. I need some more detail to this. All right, so that's 16 East Idaho. All
No,
right, so
you don't want 16 East Idaho. You want to go from his house, not my house.
Okay. Shit. What was his
Type in
address?
11 or type in 2518. Just East Snowville. just type in Snowbell Road. Sorry, not east. Right there. Yep, Cuna.
Okay.
And then type in ID-16.
Does he have any learning disabilities? He has said that he was born with fetal alcohol syndrome, and he has had problems with things like, you know, cognition and stuff like that. And it was said a while ago. Now, Stacey hasn't confirmed this himself, that he has an IQ of only 60 something. So I talked about IQ in my video yesterday briefly. IQ's a test of intelligence. It's really a test of problem solving. But the average IQ is between 90 and 110. Like the average being 100. So having an IQ of only 60 is a very, very low IQ. But if you have an IQ of 60, you're not going to be able to do mechanic stuff. You're not even probably going to be able to drive. You'll have the intelligence of like a second or third grader. I don't believe he's got an IQ in the 60s. He might have a slightly lower than average IQ. But again, IQ isn't a good measure of intelligence anyway. It's a test of problem solving. You could be a very, very good manipulator. You could have very good emotional intelligence and be able to manipulate people and still have a very low IQ. But he has said that he has fetal alcohol syndrome. He's also, I think in this interview, said he's got autism. He's on the spectrum. And I think he also said he had ADHD. Or maybe he didn't. I can't remember. But yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, bring on the charges. Bring on the charges. Okay. So let's carry on with this long, winding story of how they got back.
Would that be Meridian or?
Yep.
Okay.
And you'll see the direction we took.
Okay. So y'all go. Motherfucker. Sorry.
It's okay. We all swear.
I just messed this up.
Okay.
Justin's doing what I
All right.
do every time
So
I use maps.
You guys take. You take 80. You don't take 84, do you? You take this
That
one.
address is not correct on A. It's not 186 West Hannington Street. 2518. What's his house address?
2518 Snowbell.
Yeah, there you go. On the bottom there, the red.
Is it?
Snowbell
Tuna.
Road, it's 2518. It's right there. It's on your history. Look where. There you go. Yep.
There we go.
See, listen, he's not got an IQ of 60. He knows. No, he hasn't. I'm sorry. No, he hasn't. Whoever said that, I don't believe he does.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you're going this way, and which
Correct.
road do you take?
Nope, the one where the blue line is. It's exactly where we followed.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you take 10 Mile Road.
Correct.
Okay. So there's 1,000 stoplights through here, right?
Yep.
All right. So they would have you guys on here for sure.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And have they told you that that you can share with us? I mean, there's some things you probably can't share, but have they told you that they've seen y'all, towing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, not towing, but I mean, if you pull up the map that I sent you, the screenshots, you'll
Okay.
be able to explain that to people while I'm here.
Oh, now, right, we're going to get some receipts now. Was he a cab driver? Yes. So we're now going to get receipts. But all these receipts are for a time after Michael disappeared. None of this is relevant. I'm letting it play, though, because it shows you how he's trying to distract from the actual time that Michael disappeared. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, he's trying to distract from the very time that Michael disappeared by giving you this really detailed story saying, look, I'm an open book. I'm here to clear my name. I'm an open book. But he's talking about a time hours after Michael disappeared.
All right. So Stacy has some receipts today. He did bring some receipts.
So these are the receipts that he's found from his emails, been able to get into his emails. So again, none of this proves where he was at the time Michael disappeared. But now he said he was on, he was passing by the street that Michael would have gone onto if he was going to the splash pad at the very time Michael disappeared.
All right, is this the map?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so, all right, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so basically that map right there where the red dot is, that's where Sarah and me and Brandon pulled off, because when we had, when Sarah, so with towing, if anybody knows anything about tow straps, you have to keep tension on the rope, on the tow strap, otherwise you'll end up snapping it, which Sarah failed to do. And I told her, I was like, look, you got to keep tension, and whenever you take off, you got to ease when you take off from a stoplight or wherever. You can't just gun it. Well, she gunned it. The truck had a lot of power too, so I mean, I can kind of see that, but that's what happened is she gunned it and snapped the tow strap in half. So that red dot is where we pulled up, and if you zoom in on that dot, I don't know if you can, but literally like it'll.
So we've got so we've got a receipt. Brought his receipts, right? We always ask for receipts, don't we? So he's brought his receipt of the exact point where they stopped because Sarah snapped the tow strap. Cool. All right. If I didn't laugh, I'd cry. Honestly. Seriously. I've just kicked the cat under the desk. Oops. She's not happy. If I didn't laugh, I'd cry. It is disgusting. Thank you, Louise. Exactly. It's disgusting. He's going to be on Dolly Vision tonight. Oh, I can watch that. So he's doing the rounds, changing his story subtly each time.
So where we pulled off at on the side of the road, that's Idaho 16. Now, after we stopped, Sarah.
Tow strap. So TOW. So they were towing a car back to Fruitland. So you have a strap or a rope. We just call them a tow rope here in the UK. Just use a rope. Any charges yet? No. Frustratingly, no. But I'd rather them get the job done so that the charges can actually stick. I'd rather them take as long as they need to get those charges to stick. Huff will be listening. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Because all this can be used as evidence, you know.
I got out because I had to reattach the tow strap. I had to double knot it, which shortened the tow strap quite a bit, but it worked for the due diligence of the rest of the trip. Sarah did get out of the truck because she had to use the bathroom really bad.
Okay.
She had to take a pee, and it was dark out. So
we're now getting Sarah's toilet habits. IQ of 60 is equivalent to a third grader. Yes, it is. Yeah. I know he's not finished his story. He's still going. So he's had to double knot the tow rope. And Sarah had a pee. It was still dark. It was dark outside by now. And they're still only part way home. And we're still only part way through the story. Where did she pee? I've no idea. Probably like the side of the road. I don't know. I don't even care. It's irrelevant. This is hours after Michael disappeared. So where is Michael? The only thing I want to know about this entire story is where is Michael? That's it. Period. Where is Michael? Full stop. And a question mark. You need to have a great memory if you're a liar. Yeah, you do.
You know, she didn't think anything bad about it, so she literally just got out of the truck, went pee real quick, and got back in the truck. No, she did not wipe. I can vouch for that, which is kind of gross. But she just let that shit go.
Okay.
So if you follow that map.
Okay, question: how long did it take you to read?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. All right.
So if you follow that map, Idaho 16. If you want to pull up the next map.
Did you start driving back at this time?
No, she drove the whole way.
Okay. All right.
So that little picture that's in the middle of that map, if you want to zoom in for people.
I can't exactly zoom in, unfortunately.
Well, that picture that's on the map right there is a part that I took a picture of because Brandon said he needed an AC compressor. If I'm mistaken, that's an AC compressor unit pump.
Okay.
So I did take a picture of it while I was out, and I'm glad I did because that just timestamps again where we were.
So this is a timestamp from July 27th at 9:56 p.m.
Correct.
All right. And how far are you from home here?
They're about.
So we've got a timestamp for July 27th, 2021 at 9:56 p.m. So this is 3 hours after Michael disappeared. Confirmed by law enforcement that Michael went missing between 6:40 and 7 p.m. So why is a timestamp at nearly 10 p.m. relevant at all? But these are the receipts that Michael has brought, that Stacey has brought. All I want is receipts as to where Michael is. Man. And we had to wait for these for him to get into his emails. So we're now talking about some part. Okay.
5 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay. All right. So you're gonna. Okay. Is this on? Are we still on our way home here?
Yep.
Okay.
So that road, literally, if you follow that Highway 16 or Idaho 16, you continue on that road. If you want to bring up Idaho 16 on the map, on like Google Maps real quick, I'll guide you guys to it.
Okay. All right. So.
Yep. Perfect. Just bring in Idaho 16 as a main. Just type in Idaho 16 for point A and then hit search.
There we go. Okay.
Just hit the little arrows, the reverse arrows.
This guy does not have an
Oh,
IQ of
sorry.
60.
Yep. And then delete the 2518 and just hit search.
Who said the body was in the backyard? He did. He did. He told law enforcement. It's coming up when Josh joins the panel. Josh was great in this interview. Josh was great. Coming up. I think I've got that clip in this little ensemble that I've put together. But yeah. Jesus.
There you go. So if you want to zoom in on that, you'll see. So, yep.
Let me zoom in more. What are we looking for?
Actually, do Idaho 16 to Payette, Idaho.
So this is painful, and I'm letting it play just to show you how much detail it went into about his journey home that happened 3 hours after Michael went missing.
Payette.
Yep, right there.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
There you go. See?
Okay.
That's Idaho 16. You'll notice if you zoom in, you notice that's Idaho 16 from point A.
Right here?
No. Yep. Yep. That is Idaho 16. Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Idaho 16. You follow point A.
We're gonna do this. Okay, right here.
Yep.
All right. I highlighted it. Okay.
Yep. It'll bring you around a circle.
And this is where
Idaho 16 turns into Highway 52. Correct. And that's the route we took.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. What is the speed limit here? Do you have an idea?
I don't know. We went slower than the speed limit because you don't go fast when you're towing a vehicle. I assume like 50, 55.
Okay. And what is there stores along this way? Is it
No,
rural?
just a mountain. That's just like a straight road that takes you all the way to Payette.
Okay.
It's a old highway.
Okay. All right. And everyone, just curious, is everyone's phones on at this time?
Yes.
Everyone's phones is on. All that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Vet Girl. The pencil in the right, that date means edit is progress.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
I don't know what that means. Vet
Not
Girl.
either.
Thank you so
The
much.
right of date. Oh, pull up that picture again, the screenshot that I sent you. We'll see what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He thinks he's really smart. People like him. You always get found out in the end. He just needs to keep talking. He needs to keep talking, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, he's chewing tobacco. That's why he keeps spitting into a cup, for those who don't know.
Oh, the pencil icon. No. So that was literally screenshotted from Google Maps. That was a picture that was tracking from when that timestamp was taken. There was no way for me to edit it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's literally what pulled up on. If I had a way to screen share right now, I would totally screen share my map so you could see everything on my side. I don't know if that's possible, but I could. I wonder. No, there's
You know what you can do? You can screen record it.
I don't know how to do that either.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, they did find cadaver scent in the backyard. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And it wasn't just one dog, it was multiple dogs. All alerted in that backyard.
Okay. Have you showed authorities this?
Oh yeah, they have it all.
Sure. Okay. Okay. And they have that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, all right. Now, what is this photo? This is 956.
That's the part. Yep, that's the part. The same part that's in the middle of that picture. That's the AC compressor part.
Okay. Now, why are you taking these pictures at this time?
It was something that I already had the hood open to reattach the strap because I had to connect the strap on the inside of the hood.
Adrian wants a link. He says he's being set up. Yeah, I'll drop a link, but he's going to have to show his face. He'll have to show his face before he's coming up. Go ahead.
So, so that's why I took that picture.
Did they find DNA? We don't know whether they found DNA.
Was because the hood was already open and I wanted to snap a picture anyways while I was there because it was nighttime, you know what I mean? And the next day I was planning on making some phone calls to find that part.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So I dropped the link. I don't think it's Adrian, but he'll have to show his face before he comes up. It's just that simple. All right. All right. Carry on with your story because it's not him. It's just a troll.
Got a lot of those, huh?
Yeah. A lot of them.
Bunch of fake people. So from there, we went home from Payette. We had the car behind us. Brandon was steering it. Sarah and I were in the truck. Pulled into the subdivision. There was a bunch of people walking around. I told Sarah, I was like, hey, let's stop. Let's find out.
What time is this? What time is this?
Sometime after that timestamp. So like if you do the math, like 20 minutes after that last timestamp right there.
So we're talking at 10, 15, 10, 20?
Correct.
Okay. So Michael goes missing.
Sarah is in jail. Yeah, she's in jail on unrelated charges. So we know where Sarah is. I don't remember what charges she has. There's a bunch of things that they something to do with weapons. He was in jail for weapons or something. I don't know, but I don't actually care. As long as we know where they are, I don't care. They charged the wife with removing a corpse. No, they did. Well, they did. Yes, they did. They did. It was not informing law enforcement of the death of Michael. They charged her. She was in jail, and then they dismissed the charges.
At 6:40 to 7 p.m.
Correct.
So yeah, Justin's just said there correctly that Michael went missing between 6:40 and 7 p.m. exactly at the time that Stacey is now saying that they set off.
We are looking at we'll do 7 o'clock, 8, 9, 10. We're looking at 3.5 hours. Michael had been missing. Okay. All right. Michael's missing. We're going to say 3.5 to 4 hours. Okay. So you're basically lying to them while you're on.
Okay. So this is now a later clip. This is towards the end of Justin's interview, and Josh has joined the panel. So this is the bit where he admits to lying to the cops.
With them while they're digging up the backyard.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Now,
I'll just play that again.
We are,
I'll just play that again so you hear the full thing. So he admits to lying to them while he's on the phone to the cops. This is about him saying that Michael was buried in the backyard. Admits to lying to the cops about that.
looking at we'll do 7 o'clock, 8, 9, 10. We're looking at 3.5 hours. Michael had been missing. Okay. All right. Michael's missing. We're going to say 3.5 to 4 hours. Okay. So you're basically lying to them while you're on the phone with them while they're digging up the backyard.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Now, see, the thing about the day is, like, you're saying that you and Sarah and Brandon went to Cuna. Now, the thing with Brandon's story, which he's saying that him and Stacy got home and they went to the gas station.
Him and Sarah?
Or Sarah, sorry. Him and Sarah
No.
went
Never
to the
went
gas
to the
station at
station.
7 o'clock.
No.
And it's like...
So Brandon said that they went to the gas station on the way to Cuna to fill up, which would make sense because they've been all the way to Nampa and come back, and now they were going to do another 100-mile round trip. So they're going to need gas, aren't they? So I don't know why he's denying it so fervently that they didn't go to the gas station, but it's at 7 o'clock at the end of the road before they set off for Cuna.
Somebody's lying here. Somebody's lying, and it's.
They never went to the gas station. We left in our truck to go tow his car upon his request.
Mhm.
Why did you stop at 8th in Arizona again? I'm just curious about
To
that.
put power steering fluid in the truck. And it wasn't directly on Arizona Street. It was probably about 50, 60, maybe 70 feet, 80, maybe 100 feet behind Arizona, like before Arizona Street. Look.
Okay. So he's now saying, so he was saying that they stopped here. So this is Arizona. This is Southwest 8th. So he's originally saying that they stopped here, but he's now saying that they stopped 50 feet or 80 feet or whatever behind Arizona. So I'm assuming he means this way. I'm assuming. But they stopped along here. Michael lives here. Michael was heading along here, seen by several neighbours. A search dog tracked him along here. So he either had to go up here and along here to go to the splash pad, if that's indeed where he was headed, or a neighbour brought him back to his yard. So Michael, conceivably, instead of going back this way, he could have gone that way, right to the point where they were at the very time they've now, their paths have crossed. Their paths have crossed now.
Right after you turn left out of our subdivision to go on 8th Street is where we pulled off.
Was Brandon with you?
Yes.
And so when you did that, just about the time that Michael goes missing, you understand that, right? Just kind of coincidental too.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. I've told everything. I've told everything.
Look, I've asked everything that and I know some people are saying, "Oh, Josh, you're being mean." I don't think I am. I'm just asking questions. And I'll let you finish up, Justin.
No, I don't think you're being mean. I mean, I think we're trying to find out what's going on here, and that's the thing. There's 4 different people saying 4 different things. What time were you on 8th and with the power steering fluid?
I don't have an exact time. Like I said, it's probably.
But the problem is, like, why do you need to stop?
So he now doesn't have an exact time. So he originally said 5:30. In this interview earlier on, he said they set off between 6:30 and 7. So they're going to be. So if they set off at 6:30, right, from Red Wing, it's only like 2 minutes to here, 2 or 3 minutes to here, and they stopped here. They turned left, so they stopped here somewhere, just before Arizona, to put power steering fluid in. So that's going to be, if it's off at 6:30, it's going to be, well, just after 6:30, isn't it? So you might not have an exact time, like to the minute, because the receipts you brought to this interview were about 3 hours too late to be receipts, because all we want to know is where Michael is. We don't want to know what car part you bought. We want to know where Michael is. And we now know that they were there at the exact time that Michael disappeared. The exact time.
Right then and put power steering fluid in.
Because when Sarah made the left turn, the whining on the truck, when you have low in power steering fluid, your power steering is low in fluid, it will cause an extensive whine. And it literally sprays everywhere.
Brandon
So literally knew we were making the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped literally just for the sole purpose of putting power steering fluid in. I had got out on the passenger side of the truck. Sarah popped the hood. I opened the hood, opened power steering reservoir, poured power steering fluid in, closed the cap on the power steering fluid, walked back around to the passenger side truck, and we left.
Are you guys on CCTV anywhere?
Yeah, they have that picture as well. They have that.
They have what?
They have the picture of us stopping on 8th Street. They have the video. It was CCTV.
So now he's saying that they've got CCTV of him putting power steering fluid in. Okay. Okay. That's what he's saying.
That was also recorded. They showed that to me.
But has anybody known that? Is this the first time you're telling that?
Nobody's asked me about it, but I told them everything.
Oh, I didn't. I was.
So that would put Michael on 8th Street. Well, the thing is, we don't know where Michael went. All we know is that neighbours saw him along here going east, and a dog tracked him this way. But then a neighbour brought him back. So the dog, so I've made loads of videos about search dogs. And this is one of the limitations of search dogs, because if you double back on yourself, the dog can't differentiate between a track that's been double backed on. So we don't know where Michael went after the neighbour brought him back. Because from a dog's point of view, it's just one track. So we don't know whether Michael went back this way after the neighbour brought him back to his yard. We don't know whether Michael went back this way and walked up here and then was abducted. We don't know if he went that way, or we don't know whether he went this way. We don't know. That's one of the disadvantages of dogs, that they're following a track that's getting stronger. I've done loads of videos on search dogs. So the way a dog works is a dog's tracking its prey, right? That's their instinct, to track prey, and their prey scent is getting stronger. So if that scent suddenly gets weaker, that dog's confused, and that dog stops because that scent has got weaker. And from a dog's point of view, that's then not a recent scent, because the dog's working off instinct. It's just been trained. You're training an instinct. You're training an instinct. So if Michael went this way, dog tracked him, it doesn't necessarily mean he was abducted here, because a neighbour brought him back to his yard. Unfortunately, though, didn't take him in. Did dog sit on any of their stops? I don't know. What we do know is that a live scent tracking dog tracked Michael's scent this way. But Michael was brought back this way. So that dog now thinks that that scent has stopped there. And if Michael went back this way again, that's just one track for the dog. But if Michael went this way, it's a weaker scent than this one now, because this one's now a double scent. You've got to understand dogs to understand this. If anybody's in here blaming Tyler, you can piss off out of my chat, unsubscribe, and never darken my door again. Thank you. Okay, so we don't know where Michael went after the neighbour brought him back. So Michael could have been on Southwest 8th. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, so we're nearly at the end of this. But I'd strongly recommend you all go in and watching the full interview if you haven't seen it, because it was very interesting. Like the way that Stacey talks, it's long and rambling about nonsense or things that are irrelevant. So we've got another couple of minutes of this. and then we're done with this.
And if you were on CCTV at all that day, but they have you on CCTV
correct.
on 8th in Arizona
Yes, correct.
with Brandon in the car.
Correct. And Sarah.
Oof, I mean,
And
that's
you
a, that's a
you
major
saw
problem,
boy
right?
that day. Hold on, you saw a boy that day as well, didn't you? You said
Yes,
you saw a boy.
further down 8th Street on the very right-hand side in somebody's yard. And he didn't look anything like Michael at any point in time.
Okay, so we've now got the boy who isn't Michael, who is older than Michael, who's got brown hair, who has now meandered into a yard. So it wasn't on the street, as he initially said. In an earlier interview, he said that the boy was walking on Southwest 8. Now he's saying that he's in someone's yard. Okay. Further down. So if they're caught on CCTV or someone's doorbell or surveillance here, putting power steering fluid in, okay, that's one thing. Caught on CCTV there. But what if they drove further down here and picked up a child further down here? Would that be on CCTV? No. So even if it's true that they were caught on CCTV putting power steering fluid in, that's irrelevant. Again, that's irrelevant. But admitting to seeing a child at the very same time that Michael disappeared, but then go to pains to describe that child as looking nothing like Michael, makes me suspicious. That's all. Just makes me suspicious. And clearly, whatever evidence the cops have, they're also suspicious. There's 4 of them who are still suspects. As far as we know, these guys are still suspects. He claimed when he was putting fluid in was when he saw the child. What yard and how far away? Well, it's a long straight road, so you could probably see quite far down, but yeah, which yard? Because if we knew which yard, then it could be confirmed. Maybe at least the cops could maybe go to that house and confirm that there is a dark-haired child who lives at that house.
Okay.
We didn't ever even approach the kid.
Did the boy you saw have a yellow shirt on?
It was a bright shirt, correct. From what I remember, it was shorts and a bright shirt. And he was a lot taller than the 5-year-old boy. I can tell you that much.
Well, Michael had shorts and a bright shirt.
Okay.
So who put the power steering fluid in?
I did.
So you're on video getting out.
Correct.
And is Stacy with you at this time? I mean, Sarah?
Sarah? Yeah, she's driving the truck. She was in the driver's seat the whole time. Brandon was in the back seat the whole time. I was the only one to get out of the truck as it's on video and recording, and the video shows me putting power steering fluid in the
I
truck.
showed it to you.
Yes.
Okay. When is the next time you put power steering fluid in that day? You know?
I didn't have to put it until the next day.
Okay.
I usually have to fill up the truck.
So he's getting mad now. You can hear him getting mad. He's getting mad because he's finding these questions difficult. So he was really, very affable and friendly when he's talking about all the irrelevant details about stopping to put a double knot in the tow rope and Sarah having a pee and which route they took. He was happy to chat for a long time about that. But when they're at this crucial point, the very spot, he's getting rattled. He's getting rattled. He is. You can hear it in his voice. Why? Why is he getting rattled about this piece of detail and not about anything else. Why? Because he got rattled with Brooks when she started asking difficult questions and he flounced.
Day with power steering fluid.
Was that the only place that you're on CCTV?
No, I was on CCTV at the splash pad.
Yes, he was at the splash pad at
1:30-ish. So again, that's irrelevant. So for those who haven't heard earlier interviews, he was caught on CCTV at the splash pad about 1:30-ish when he had to stop to pick up his chewing tobacco tin, which had fallen on the floor. So because he's a bigger guy, he couldn't just bend over and get it. He had to get out and go around the vehicle, and that was just an appropriate place to stop. But I don't care about that because that was 6 hours before Michael disappeared, 5 hours before Michael disappeared. I don't care about that. I care about the very point that Michael went missing. And where is Michael? Those are the receipts I want to see. Where is Michael?
okay,
Is that common? Was that common? I'm sorry, I didn't know if that's common knowledge or not.
No, that's proof. I saw it proof from the detectives. They showed me the video.
You knew that, Justin? You knew that he was on video?
Yep, he's on video there at the splash pad, getting out of his truck. He says
Car.
rather, getting his snuff.
Correct.
There you go. Getting his snuff. But that was at 1:30 on his way to Boise. So there you go. But this is the interview. Let me show you. For those who might want to go and watch it. This is the interview. So it's on Justin For All's channel. Stacey Wanderer suspect in missing Michael Vaughan case live interview. Pop a like on that. So it was a really good interview. All the interviews that I've seen with Stacey are good interviews. He is lying. He is lying. And when he starts being asked the difficult questions, that's when he gets rattled. Otherwise, it's just detail after detail after detail. Like he knows, he must have some kind of like photographic memory to remember all of those details. Like from 2.5 years ago. Like, could you remember a trip that you took 2.5 years ago? No, I couldn't. I could vaguely probably remember maybe at some point in the past going there at that time. Maybe it's, you know, in his head because that was the day Michael disappeared, maybe, and he's a suspect, so he's had to think through all those details. But I just find it very convenient that he's very happy and friendly when we've got all the irrelevant details. But yet, when you get to that point, Southwest 8th Street, between 6:30 and 7 is when he gets narky. He gets narky. That, in my opinion, is the most telling thing about these interviews to date. How his demeanor changes when he's asked the questions that are relevant to this case, that are the most relevant to this case. So there you go. So somebody earlier said he's on Dolly Vision tonight, apparently. I don't know whether Dolly Vision's got a scheduler up. So there's no scheduler up, so I don't know how you know he's on Dolly Vision tonight. But the truth is not in him. I think what he's doing is there is truth in it, and he's very happy to talk about the details that are true but are not relevant. Like stuff that happened earlier in the day, not relevant. Stuff that happened at 10 o'clock at night, not relevant. But the stuff that happened at the very time that Michael disappeared, he gets rattled. You need to watch Purple Phoenix last video. She does all the lies from the interviews. Well, it must have taken her a while to go through all the interviews. So, yeah, I'll check that out. He's going to do a part 2 on Justin's first and then Dolly. Really? So he's really trying to get people to believe him. Is he making money off Michael's disappearance? I don't think so, unless people are paying him, but I don't think so. Dolly said last night he talked to a lady on the phone that Stacey rented a room. Well, that Stacey rented a room from. But when? So in every video they mention money on the end. All right, so if he's getting money for Cash Apps, then okay, well, yeah. Honestly, if he's getting paid for interviews, well, that's a few quid in his pocket. But this is potentially evidence for the future. So what would you rather have? I'd rather have the information. He rented a room for about a week. Then she found out he was a suspect. So 3 days ago, she kicked him out. Okay. So it's no. All right. I don't care about that. I don't care about anything. I don't care about where he's living. I don't care about how much he's being paid. I don't care. What I want to know is, where is Michael Vaughan? That's all I want to know. All I want to know. And the more lies that these people tell, it's what I said earlier about the Summer Wells case. You know, all of this nonsense we've had in Summer's case over the last 2.5 years. And there's this person comes out and speaks, and this person's wife comes out and speaks. Well, yeah, you listen to a lot of nonsense, but somewhere along the line, something's going to come out. If you shake a tree long enough, you get information. Ask Cassie. She shakes trees. It's called flushing. And she flushes birds out. And once in a while, she catches one. You know, that's kind of what we're doing here. You're flushing out that potential. You're flushing out the potential of something falling out. So the more these people talk, the better. Has he been charged with anything? Not relating to Michael, no. He's just a suspect. They're making a circus out of it all. It is a circus. However, at some point, somewhere along the line, something will be said, a tree will be shook, and some relevant information will pop out. That's why I'm listening to all of Stacey's interviews, just like I've listened to everything that has come out over the last 2.5 years in Summer's case, because it's important. Even if you get these long, drawn-in descriptions of where you stopped and what car park you brought, all right, fair enough. But every single piece of information is relevant in that if you get a baseline for how they speak, the information that they're prepared to give, their tone of their voice, the way that they look, the way that they act when they're giving all of this irrelevant information, it provides a baseline. And then you get into information that's very relevant, and you look at the changes, you look at the differences, you look at the differences in his tone, how sharp he gets, how annoyed he gets when an interviewer hits on the information that is relevant. So that's just my opinion, though. All of this is just my opinion. You worry if it happens online, it's not going to be taken seriously. Well, if cops aren't taking stuff seriously, then honestly, it doesn't matter where it's said. If they're not going to take relevant information seriously, then that's a problem in itself. But while a suspect in a case is prepared to talk, you better believe that the cops are watching. You better believe that they are. It's terribly sad. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that Brandy and Tyler have got to listen to this nonsense. But it's all for the greater good. It's all for the greater good. So I am going to go now. How long have I been on? I've only been on 2 hours. I thought it was going to go longer. But good morning, level-headed. There's probably people just getting up, just as I'm kind of wrapping up now. People are just getting up. But you can always go back and watch the replay. He gave a false confession and the dog alerts were a false positive. So now law enforcement are convinced they're guilty, but they can't find any real evidence. You see, the problem with that is, why would he say that Michael's body was buried in the yard? Why would he say that? Like, of all the places that he could have said Michael's body was hidden in, why did he say that and give a precise location? And then, just completely by chance, 3 different dogs alerted in that same spot. What are the chances of that happening? Like, I could go to my local police and say that there was a dead body hidden in my backyard. All right. And I could give them the name of some, I don't know, missing person who is an actual missing person. I could say, go to the cops and say, I want to confess to the murder of X, and they are hidden in my backyard. So the cops then would have an obligation to investigate, and they'd come and they'd dig up my backyard. And they wouldn't find anything because there isn't a dead body hidden in my backyard, or never has been. So a cadaver dog that came into my backyard would not alert in my backyard. They wouldn't find anything. They wouldn't find anomalies in the ground when they did ground penetrating radar. And if they did find anomalies, it wouldn't be consistent with the body being hidden there at some point in the recent past. And also 3 different cadaver dogs wouldn't come and hit on my backyard either, because there has never been a body there. So no, I think there was a body there. And I think, as the cops have said, I think he was moved. Because what are the chances of 3 different dogs alerting in the same place, in the spot that Stacey said the body was, but now Stacey's saying he's lying? So why would he lie? Number one, why would he lie? Why would he give that precise location? That's 2. And then 3, why would 3 different dogs alert in that exact spot? There's no chance that that's a coincidence. Coincidences happen, yes, but I don't believe that's a coincidence. Now, there is always the possibility that cadaver dogs can get thrown off by certain things. There's a possibility that a live scent tracker can get thrown off by certain things, like the prey doubling back on themselves. That's confusing for them. Cadaver dogs can also get thrown off. One thing that they can get thrown off by is the existence of sewage material from a human. So if you have, let's say, a sewage pipe that runs under your yard, and at some point in the past has been leaking and it's leaked out into the soil, that can create a dog alert to cadaver scent. Because there are small amounts of cadaverine and putrescine. Those are when you smell a dead body, any dead body, like a dead rat, dead mouse, if you've ever had something dead in your yard, or you've smelt something dead when you're walking along, it's a very specific smell. And if you smelt it once, you never forget that scent. It's a horrible scent. But there are small amounts of those particles that create that scent in live sewage, because our cells are dying all the time. We're always growing, we're always repairing. So the cells that die are taken out of our body through our normal waste channels, right? And small amounts of cadaverine, putrescine, and the other molecules that make up that death scent are there in very small amounts in sewage. So if there's been a sewage leak into the soil, or sewage has been poured in a river, that can give a false positive, because the dog can smell human cadaverine and putrescine, but it's not from a dead body, it's from live sewage. So there's a possibility that if a sewage pipe goes under that yard, that it's leaked at some point. But if there's no sewage pipe in that backyard, and there's no possibility that sewage could have ever got in that backyard, then that is a genuine hit for death. So, you know what doesn't lie? Is cellular data that was in the neighbourhood. That doesn't lie. It absolutely doesn't lie, no. If we all go back, they were working on that for a while before they named suspects. Yeah. And it's a combination, isn't it? Like, there's a combination of factors that come together. Like, they'd never charge somebody just on one particular issue. They want a combination to, you know, to create a story that a jury will believe. Yeah, and it's because suspects sometimes like to talk. So let him talk. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was nonsense. That was a complete lie. That had to be a lie. So apparently the dogs alerted on the yard before Stacey told them that lie, that Michael was buried in the yard. So the dogs alerted first. Well, that's not true, is it? Because in the probable cause affidavit for Sarah, it was a credible tip that led them to that house in the first place. And it turns out that credible tip was Stacey saying Michael was buried in that yard. So he also said the spot that he told them was buried wasn't the spot the dogs alerted. Well, he can say what he wants. He can say what he wants. Yeah, they believe he's deceased, yes. They believe he's deceased. Well, he was already in jail at the time for unrelated charges. But they can't arrest someone without probable cause. So they can't arrest me. If I go to the cops and say, there's a dead body buried in my backyard, they can't arrest me until they find out that there actually is a body buried in my backyard. They could do me for lying to the cops. They could do me for that, like they could do Stacey for lying to the cops. They could do him for that. Because telling a lie like that, and the thing is, the fact that they haven't charged him for lying to the cops leads me to believe that they don't think he was lying. Or else they charged him. Because all of that heartache that he put the family through, and all of that time, effort, and heartache that the cops and the searchers went through, you know, you're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars for that week-long search, and then all of the stuff that came from that, you know, all of the testing and stuff that came from that. If they truly believed that Stacey was lying, they'd have done him for lying, whatever that is in Idaho, whatever that charge is in Idaho. Were the parents told? Were the parents told what? Well, yeah, the parents know because there was a week-long search of his backyard. So, yeah. That was November 2022. I sat here in this very seat day after day after day live streaming as that search went on. Oh, yeah. Claims his dog likes to dig holes. So if they find any holes, it will be his dog that did it. Sarah hasn't spoken. Sarah hasn't spoken publicly at all. So Stacey is the one who's coming out talking. It was Brandon who spoke first. Brandon spoke to JLR in November 2022. Yeah, it's only a small backyard. So it doesn't matter if Stacey said that the body was buried by the shed, and then it turns out that the dog's alerted 10 yards away from the shed. Doesn't matter because it's only a small backyard. That's right. 3 different dogs at 3 different times, yes. Well, they must have reason to believe that he's not lying about that particular thing. So let's give him some rope and let him hang himself. That's my opinion. You walk past wheelie bins with dead bodies. You don't forget that smell, no. You really don't. That is very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Adrian did one. I'm wondering whether Adrian wasn't there and he's nothing to do with it, but he knows something, and he thought, I'm getting out of here. You know, this is way above my pay grade. I'm gone. So I'm wondering whether they're trying to set Adrian up, and Adrian genuinely wasn't there. And he might know something after the fact, but he genuinely wasn't there. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Because has anybody found any charges for Adrian relating to human trafficking? Because I can't find any. So if anybody has found anything related to human trafficking, like Stacey claims that Adrian is a human trafficker, well, where's the evidence that Stacey's a human that Adrian's a human trafficker? Where's the evidence of that? Because Stacey's happy to say that on every single interview, but yet I can't seem to find any evidence. So it seems to me like Adrian is the least guilty. Yes, he might know stuff after the fact, but he wasn't there. He's not directly involved. And whatever happened happened with Adrian not there. And he's got out of Dodge because he thought, I'm not getting involved in any of this. And it's maybe time for Adrian to speak to the cops and get himself, you know, even if he has to admit knowledge after the fact that he hasn't previously disclosed. Adrian, if you're listening, you'd get a very minor charge for that. Minor. If you could help the cops solve this case and bring Michael home to his family and get convicted the people who really did this, any information that you've got, you can work with the cops and get a really good deal, Adrian. I'm just saying. If you ever listen to this, you could get a really good deal. So the number that you need to ring is scrolling along the bottom. 208 642 6006. That's the number you need to ring. Oh, great. That's right. Yeah. They'd have charged him for lying. You don't think, no, yeah, possibly. Because Stacey was in jail. So if Stacey claims that he passed a polygraph, but that's just Stacey's claim, there's no evidence of it. We don't know if he actually passed a polygraph. But if they said, do you know where Michael Vaughan's body is? He could genuinely say yes and be telling the truth. Because he might not know where Michael's body is now. So if you see, what I want to know is what the polygraph questions were. So if he's saying he passed, well, what were the questions? Like if it was, did you murder Michael Vaughan? Well, he might have not have murdered Michael. So he could say no, and that be truthful. Do you know where Michael Vaughan's body is? And he could say no, and that be truthful, because he doesn't know now. It depends on the questions. Well, that's good. If he needs to speak to the cops, not a lawyer, and he'll get a really good deal. I'm pretty sure. That's right. First to talk, first to walk. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not sickly sweet. No. It's, can't explain it. It's a smell. Like if you think shit smells bad, it's like really rotting meat along with the worst shit smell you can. It doesn't smell like shit. It's the closest is really, really rotten meat, but not quite that. But I wouldn't say it's sickly sweet. That's right. No, Sarah was driving. They said it was meth trafficking on another channel. Okay. Well, Stacey has said human trafficking, so which is it? Exactly. He thinks he's being slick, but you have to be really clever to go on multiple channels and tell exactly the same story to multiple people. And he's not as slick as he thinks he is. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? This is just my opinion. This is just all alleged. And I'm just giving you my thoughts. In my opinion, he's lying. Actually, I think there's a lot of truth in what he's saying. But the truth is the stuff that is irrelevant. And it's the stuff that he's prepared to talk about and keep talking about, and just very friendly and help. When Justin was dealing with the map, he was helping out and stuff and saying, oh, you need this and this and this. So all of that was very useful, wasn't it? But when they honed in on Southwest 8th Street and the child, when that came up, this child, he got very, very terse. He got very angsty. He got annoyed, and he started to shut down a little bit. I find that interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of truth in what he's saying, I'm sure. But what he's concealing is perhaps leaking out some actual truths that are relevant. I think there's been some leakage. That's just my opinion. All right, I'm going to go. I've been on here now for a bit. Oh, dear. This chair makes my back ache. Right, I'm going to go. So if you're just tuning in, like you're just getting up and tuning in, well, just go back to the beginning and play it all on the replay. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for the donations at the beginning of the stream. It was very kind of you, those who donated at the beginning. Just woke up. Well, just rewind and pretend it's live. You know, 7 interviews that he's done now. 7. So 3 Brooks, Dolly Vision, Eve, Justin. I know 6. So what's the 7th? I know 6. Okay. All right. I'm going to go. So thanks for the donations. Thanks as always to the mods, even though I don't think I've had any mods in. Maybe I did earlier on. No, I don't think I did. Anyway. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy watching the replay. Let me know in the comments for those of you who are on the replay crew. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.